Hello, my channel's name is Nekoneem, and this will be my first video actually recording myself. Probably trying to bring you various different types of content, not just manga, not just anime, maybe like fighting games, maybe even if I could eventually get better at my drawing, I could do stuff like animation and all that stuff. But I don't think I'm going to be doing that yet. So I'm probably just going to be pouring out on like some simpler, smaller hobbies. So I guess that's it. That's to it. Let's get to the video. For the five manga that are pretty dark and or brutal, and like some of them are not completely dark or completely brutal, but it's for the most part one or the other. And my first that I'm gonna be bringing up is Frank and Fran. It's about this doctor, basically a creation of a freak show doctor that basically tries to do and take place of the doctor that created her. So she tries to help people by doing her freakishly dark creations, and eventually, and she thinks she's helping, but for the most part, everything goes practically down the drain, and she never knows about it because she's like all happy that she helps them and all this stuff. It's pretty interesting. It's like that's just basically the plot. It's nothing like progressive or anything. Just this girl helping stuff. Now I don't know how much gore or any of that stuff I would be able to actually show, so I'm going to be trying to keep it on the low. Like, make sure it's on the smaller end of the gore and or dark scale. So one of the things she does is she kind of helps this creation. It's like, pardon the blurriness, but there's this little creation that she tries to help. I don't quite remember how it turns out, but it seems to be quite fine, I guess. It's like that's just a little bit. I'm trying to keep the gore pretty far down. Well, not just gore, but the darkness and stuff. She also does something like this, where she turns actually people. Hold up, let me see if I can get to it. I don't remember, but like I guess they're these intruder people, and she turned them into these dogs because they were like trying to capture her or something. I don't fully remember. However, this is one of my favorite manga. If you don't mind having like basically no or very linear plot, but it's just a bunch of gore and darkness, melancholic stuff, then this is the manga for you. I think it's very fun. It can get lighthearted at times, but it's like, for the most part, the lightheartedness turns into despair pretty quickly. The next one I'm going to be talking about is Murcielago. This one overall has a bit of a lighter tone, but it has some pretty dark stuff that happens in it. It's basically about this lesbian killer that gets turned into a cop. Well, I'm not even sure if it's a cop. It's like a special investigator sort of thing. That, yeah, she hunts down other people that are kind of like her simply because she was turned over by a really cute girl. And she hunts down people that do things like this. Like, just cleaving a dude in half. Not sure if you can see it, but like, there's one half. There's the... Yeah, you can see at the foot there at least. I don't know if I would be able to get any further than that, but it's like that's a bunch of dark stuff. She's batshit crazy because she could turn from like happy and all that stuff to like at the drop of a hat crazy, because you can see her like smiling and stuff, and then the very next two panels and whatever, she becomes unhappy. Not sure if you can see it, but it's like It's some stuff. It's some shit. Overall, I'd say it's a bit of a lighter, but there's still pretty much really weird stuff that happens, really dark stuff that happens. She is basically overrun by crime, and she's trying to solve it all by because of another girl that she likes. It's stuff like that. That's like trying to vary. All the stuff I'm showing is supposed to be pretty minor. Well, unfortunately, the next one is going to be something called Ibitsu or Ibits. I'm not quite sure how to pronounce it yet, but it's like this little horror. It's psychological horror more so than anything. It's very dark. It can get gruesome at times because it's a very short manga, but it's I love it. It just the whole sense of paranoia. It just gets to you. Well, at least it got to me. I really love it. It's about this apparently this gothic Lolita girl who well, she's not really a Lolita, but she dresses in Lolita clothes and she goes around, claims people as her Oni-chan, or was it Oni-chan? Whatever, Big Brother. I believe it was Oni-chan. And basically follows them around, tortures their whole family, then basically tortures them and all this other stuff. She's just crazy. The main character gets followed around quite a bit, and she does this really crazy stuff for someone she doesn't even know, who and claims as her brother. It's pretty brutal. And I guess the next thing I'll be talking about is Magical Girl Apocalypse. Now this also isn't as much as plot or anything. It's basically like High School of the Dead, but without the boobs, in a way, and magical girls. At least that's what I got from reading the first volume. I've read the other volumes for the other two that I mentioned, but this one I only read the first volume. That's the one I have so far. But basically, magical girl comes into someone's school, slaughters everyone, main character freaks out. Basically, I guess you could say that start is kind of similar to Dead Man Wonderland. I'm not sure how early this came out compared to the other ones, but yeah, trying to keep it toned down a little bit. But that's that. There's that. And yeah, that's something that could be talked about pretty. Not as much to say about this one, because this is pretty much just blood, guts, killing, basically zombie-like characters. And the last one would be Tenku Shinpan. Okay, so this one I also don't have physically, because I don't think it's even serialized yet. I don't even know if Ibitsu is serialized yet. It's about these people that get mysteriously transported. They don't know how they did. They get transported to a different alternative world, alternative dimension. Presumably, some people think it's the future. And the very first thing that you see is a man's head is cleaved in half. They even warn you it in the synopsis. You already know you're in quite a ride when you see that. It's a very interesting thing where these people with masks chase others down and try to kill them to jump off cliffs of... I also forgot to mention that they basically arrive on skyscrapers and stuff, and there is no way to the ground. So what these masked men do is they have these weapons, and they try to have them fall off. And if they don't fall off, they try killing them. So that's also one that I more so recently found out. I was looking for something darkish. It's, for the most part, just a whole rush. Like when something slows down, it picks up immediately. It's just, I'm not sure how to describe it. It's very fast paced. Even like after it slows down, it's a pretty good plot actually. It's more dark than it is gory, because I mean, you see blood, but you don't actually see guts or anything like that compared to the other three, or I mean, other four, I should say. But, well, you know, it's just extremely dark. People chase others off, and all this other stuff. Well, hopefully everyone stuck around to the very end. I appreciate it if you did. Please give me any comments, any advice, anything that could generally help me become better at doing this type of stuff. I appreciate anyone who actually watched the video, and thank you all. Have a good day.